Hello, beautiful peasants, and welcome to, what do we call this? FAFO Friday. I was actually not going to stream today, and my husband was like, why don't you just do like sculpting demos and stuff? And I was like, oh, I love doing that. That actually sounds great. So today's stream is a little bit different. As you see, we went straight into happy hour instead of having a normal doors open and whatnot. So same, but different. How are we all doing this lovely Friday? I got my husband, Ricky Sater, who is being judgy about my hands. By the way, whenever I have my hands down here, they're always doing that. I always just fuck off. Anyway, hello, Duke. Welcome in. Paint, Aloha, just lingual. Good morning, good afternoon. Also, mouse hands. Normal sized hands. Also, I realized it would take me absolutely no time to change my mentorship tier. So if you are already in my mentorship program, you're fine. Don't change anything, okay? But if you're new and lurking and you were considering, I finally have a tier now that is double the price of mentorship. It's $30 a month. But the second you start asking business questions on how to make money with art, you're going to pay me more so I can be mean to you. I'm so serious. It's $60 a month. There's no picture for you right now, so just double the price. It's worth like quadruple that, but it is a thing now. But no, I doubled the price. I'm trying to scare people off and encourage them at the same time. Yeah, that's a weird pitch. It's like so I can be more mean to you. But no, seriously, I've noticed that people really need kind of a wake-up call when it comes to like trying to make, art for a living. They need help. And I need them to know that they're not making anything. I've had so many students join, like 3, that join and they like want to make, art for a living. And I'm like, where is your stuff? And they're not making shit. I don't understand it. They have like 2 models and they're like, how do I do social media? And I'm like, honey, that's the least of your problem. So anyway, that is the thing now. If you were already in the $30 a month tier, Aloha, you don't need to upgrade, okay? You're fine. If you're already in here, you're grandfathered in. You're good. You're good. If you're lurking and new, then you want to ask business for art, then upgrade. But for all my regulars, please don't feel pressured. Friendly acts for others Friday. Yes. Hello, John. What a wholesome Friday idea. I'm sure nothing will be strange. I'm sure nothing at all. So I've gotten a little faster at sculpting in the process, which is great. Somehow still happening, which is great. Which means my streams are a little more open-ended now. I don't have to just worry about getting all my work done for the week because I'm doing that anyhow. So that's been really nice. What am I gonna do right now? Oh, thank you. Olo said, Mia, great job on the price increase. It's about damn time we reward your time with proper payment. Thank you. I appreciate it. I do. It just took me a while to do it because I wanted to make sure that those that did have a business focus, I had like 5 of you. I wanted to make sure that I actually directly improved before I charged anything for it. Because there's so many artists that have these like business packages or whatever, and their whole business is just selling the idea of making art. And I'm like, you're not helping anyone. So yes. And I don't plan anyone to join that tier that I don't already know in streams. If someone just signs up for it, I already know there's gonna be a problem, so I'm glad they'll be compensated for it at least. There are some loonies out there. Again, the amount of people that are not making art, but they'll spend so much money to think that they're gonna do it for a living. You guys know what I'm talking about. They'll do anything other than just make art. I don't understand it. But hopefully I can help them too. Where is my pen? I don't know where my pen is. 1 second. Oh, there it is. Duke says, I thought FAFO Friday was the warning about the band hammer of finding out. Low-key, yeah, fuck around, find out. I love that YouTube was like, hey, you can swear now, just not in the first 5 minutes. And I'm like, don't tell me what to do. All right. What do I want on the screen right now? Who's going to be my demo friend today? If you guys don't have questions, I'm just going to post-process models, which is kind of boring. So it's up to y'all. Oh, that stupid puppet cart. Forgot about that. Completely forgot about that. Oh yeah, our little cute chibi friends. Let's bring that up right now. That's a vibe. Wonderful. Just Single says, that's me. At least not making enough art side. That's 100% of my students. I'm not gonna say 99. That's all of y'all. That's a hard one to overcome. And then the answer is not sitting down and grinding for 15 hours a day either. I feel like most of the value from like my mentorship, I'm not a therapist, but low key it turns into just like, here are healthy creative habits. Now we're going to maintain healthy creative habits. Oh my gosh. I'd be a horrible therapist though. Not a therapist. Okay. All right. Hello and welcome to FAFO Friday. This is the first of its kind, and essentially this is geared for my mentorship students. If you are not paying for mentorship, you can still ask questions because we have a bunch of paying mentorship students in the chat, so congrats, you're getting carried. But seriously, this is designed to answer questions about 3D modeling and the process. So if you're like, hey, I don't understand subdivision levels, or I don't understand poly count, what is a polygon? It cannot be too simple of a question. Looking at you, John, this is your time to shine. And because you, again, you literally pay for this, so you especially ask questions. Just Single, Mia, question, how to get the 19 a day grind set? How much creative needed? All of it, 42. Empress, hello, hello. Sater said, oh man, I missed the start and the commentary about your Barbie hands. Yeah, I pretty much told you to fuck off. That was it. It wasn't super witty today. Ooh, there we go. Paint says, can you show me the workflow for smooth and rigged greaves? Working on mine, I feel like I'm missing something with shape or process. With rigged, do you mean like ribbed? Or like, I think that's a dangerous word to say. I'm not certain what you mean. Please tell me more. But I can show you greaves for sure. Let's talk about some armor. Also, I'm probably going to start grabbing questions and throwing them over here just so I don't lose them, because we'll probably get quite a few today. Duke says, most people require being held accountable externally in order to be successful. I know, but when it comes to art, if you need that, actually I can't say that. I was going to make a statement, and then as I was saying it, I disagreed with myself, because my student Matt really benefits from me being mean to him. You're right, it has helped him immensely. You're correct, Duke. You're correct. Mia, before stream, how many drugs do you take for the grind set? Just fruits and veggies. Strong language for someone with paddle hands. Sater, I can't do anything without... Alright. I think I'm failing at English today. No, you are A-okay. Continue the lowest question. What delivery method? Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna just ignore everyone except for Paint and Empress right now. We're talking about greaves. Feeties. Let's go. I kind of want a nice model to look at while I do this. Do I have anything in here that's nice? No. I've never had a nice thing. I'm gonna get to you, Paint, literally right now. I suspect that your question about armor is not going to be the only question we have today about armor. So I want to see if I saved that file. I know I did. I said, not defensively. Alright. I have a pose archive of everything that's still in a T-pose, and it was quite the level up when we did that armor, female knight. There she is. I'm gonna download that. We're gonna talk about greaves. You're kind of getting in your head a little bit, Paint, because you literally did other armor pieces. It's the same thing. So we're gonna do a little twofer here. One, we're gonna open up this female knight. Gorgeous. But the poly paint's all whack. Don't worry about that. Can we get fun lighting? And the first thing we're gonna do is grab some references. All right, so you're talking about these. This is a greave. The first thing that I noticed, Paint, when you did this on your character is your greaves were like one gigantic piece that, why can't I find you? There you are. That went over the knee, and you're way too high poly. See, the first thing that I broke it into 2 different pieces here. So let's run over to Pinterest, because I love me some Pinterest. And we'll look at some armor sets. It feels so intense today. I don't know why. All right, armor, knight. We're just gonna look at some and see if, because I don't think the shape that you did is impossible. Nope, just kidding. Sorry, paint. Yeah, that's why you failed, because this is not a thing where it's just one continuous sock. I do like that you broke it up here into the shoe, but even then, the seam here you did was so large compared to everything else. The thinness of armor is so important. Why am I doing this? Anyway, so step 1 would be creating a knee piece separate from the shin. Does that make sense? And as far as how you create that, I will show you, but I know you got it. But I will show you anyway. Take the body, you are going to mask a section, just like this. Extract at 0 thickness. Z-remesh a few times to get some nice clean topology. I also like having polish by features pinned right here. I should probably hide the greaves, shouldn't I? Otherwise that kind of makes it difficult to show you things, doesn't it? Here we go. You got these little sock pieces, you inflate them, and there you go. I mean, obviously they need a lot, some shaping to make them more interesting. Grab your move brush, but the greaves are not really what make it look nice. It's the knee thing. And as far as keeping it looking rigid, low poly. Low poly, low poly. Empress says, since I am here live now, I do have a question / theory. For my model, when I added subdiv, the fingers / toes got obliterated. Had I Dynamesh before that, would they have avoided the problem? Subdivisions will not affect fingers and toes. I don't know what made them get obliterated. Subdividing, all it does is takes 1 poly, it makes it into 4. So you have like a square. Can I do a square? Jesus Christ. Square, and then there's 4 squares. Okay? That's all it does. Oh my god, Aloha. This is why you are low-key, you are the favorite mod. Rigged greaves, correct, a rigid greaves creation. Like that. Another question also in DMs when you have time. Okay, great. Can I put that on screen, Empress? And then from John, still having problems deciding when to use extract or just start with a new subtool, as sometimes mask creates more work for him. Sounds like you don't understand how masking works in extraction. When you extract, it makes a new subtool. So I'm confused by your question. Yeah, when do you use, oh, I see. You're saying when do you extract off of the piece or use this new subtool? Great question. I understand now. So, John, you want to extract from the mesh when it is going to fit onto the mesh, okay? So if I'm creating a piece of clothing that is going to fit the character, I'm gonna want it to do the work for me. I'm like, oh, well, the greaves are sure gonna be leg shaped, so let's start with a leg. Now let's say if I was gonna make a donut, okay? If I want to make a donut, like the edible, like the eating a donut, it would be ridiculous to come here and to draw a circle on her body and extract and then move forward, and I can take this, I can add thickness to it, and then I'll delete the inside of it. And wacha, donut. That's ridiculous. Don't do that. Just start with a ring. You pretty much just want to, when you're making a new asset, you just want to take the path of least resistance. So if you are creating something that looks like any of these basic shapes, why can't I touch this? So if it looks like a sphere, cube, cylinder, cone, or ring, append a new subtool. I guess you could say the greaves are kind of like a cylinder, I guess. But there's a lot of subtlety happening there. So in that case, you'd want to extract. Fantastic question. Oh god, Sater said, okay, I'm done. I had my fun. I don't even see what other dumb thing you said. Is it hard to hold a stylus when your fingers don't come apart? And then Emperor says, show us the splendor. I think that should be the flagship for the month. Aw, thank you. I will. Of course, I don't think I have that saved right now. Oh no, I do. I will have that saved here too. So these will be the two models we kind of jump between. So yeah, I have a monster demo, which will be this one, and then we'll have the knight demo. Beautiful. John said, Mia, yes, that's what I meant. Feel free to ask follow-up questions. And then Empress says, I also had another question DMs. Might be better shown live, step by step. You know I love that. All right. Yes, Chef. I do have a question, Chef. Am I Chef now, or is that Chief? It is Chef. Is it because I cook? I love it. I cook models that cook real food. Chef. All right. What are the proper steps setting up an asset library? You know, it's funny you say that because after, like that's, okay, the next assignment I'm giving you is a magic staff, but the one after that, it's going to be creating a hair asset library. So it's funny you say that. Okay. So we are creating an asset library. Let me show you the full process from start to finish, okay? Pay attention. Step 1, sculpt a character. Yep, that easy. Step 2, find the thing that you want to keep, okay? So for me, I like this shield a lot. This shield is already decimated to 5,000 points. Don't put things in your asset library that are like 1,000,000 polys each. I mean, you can, but just don't. When you're creating an asset, it should, okay, we're not talking about the asset creation process, just how to make a library, sorry. Find a piece you want to save. I like this shield. Go to Tool, Export, name it what it is. Shield, OBJ will be the format. Amazing. Next step, you're gonna start creating a Z tool full of all of your pieces, okay? So I'm gonna open up my asset library that I already have, just so you can see everything get put together, but I'm not skipping any steps. So this is my asset library with all the weapons. This is where the shield is going to go. If you're like, well, I don't have that, how do I get that? Literally just click up here on anything. It doesn't matter. You could even click comma for lightbox and then project and just open up a sphere. I have to do it this way to show you guys. Okay, we're gonna create a brand new asset library. There, I use a sphere. Now that we're here, these are where all of your pieces are going to go. So how do we bring that shield into the scene? Go to Tool, Import. And it's going to show a bunch of folders and stuff. On desktop, I have the shield. Click on Open, and there it is. Check it out. So this is the beginning of my weapons and asset library. When I add a new piece in, it will be in the center of the scene. So you'll need to like just move it over. And then eventually you'll have a bunch of them. And your asset library looks something like this. How you organize it is up to you, but I strongly encourage you to name them all different things. Now that you have this weapons thing, you're gonna go up here to Tool, Save As. Do not go to File, Save As. That's the whole ZPR. We're doing individual tools. Go Save As, and we'll call this Weapons. I'm gonna put it with 3 S's so it doesn't overwrite my other weapons CTL. There you go. Simple as that. So now when I'm working on a character, let's say I have my beginning ZPR, each asset library is just a Z tool, okay? So my Z project here called Begin, I just loaded in those Z tools with all these pieces. So let's say I want to bring in that weapons one. Click on something that's not already an asset library. Click Load Tool. Weapons is at the top, .ztl. And there you go. Now I have this. And then once you, like, if you want all your asset libraries to be in the same file, you can do that. That lets me switch between them. The more of them you have, the slower the project's gonna load and the bigger it's gonna get. So for my default, I only have like hair, shirts, and pants. And then at the end, I'll like load in the weapons one by itself. And then last thing, if you want, so now that you finally have your asset libraries here, if you want to bring one asset into another scene, it's just Z tool to Z tool. Make sure you have it selected. Like for example, I don't want all of these shields. I just want this one shield. Make sure that's selected. You can select it by holding down Option or Alt and clicking on it, or over here, just click on it. Now go back to the file that, or the tool that you're working on. Click on Append, and then look, you'll see there is a preview of what selected item you have from each asset library. Click on Weapons, and there you go. Now I have that tool in there. So that's how you create asset libraries. That's how you bring them in to make mega asset libraries. All you need to understand is that you have a Z tool that you then, that is the asset library for that one thing. So these are all of the headgear. This is a Z tool. This is a Z tool. This is a Z tool, okay? Which is made of subtools. And then if you're like, okay, I'm tired of loading in Z tools individually, you can save them as one ZPR. So if you want to save Z tools, it's up here under tool. If you want to save the whole ZPR, it's under file, save as. It's very picky, I know that. So if you have questions, let me know. Great question. Hey Max, hello, hello. Let's bring the Splendor back in here. And Dragon. We're doing a special demo art teaching galore stream today. So if you guys have questions, bring them up. Ask them now. It's very possible this will be the future of M3DM live streams, low-key, doing live sculpting demos and questions, because this is really fun for me. It's like I like to teach or something. Most of this stream. Oh my god, I love this. Mia reviewing a level 1. It's raw. Yeah, I'm very picky. It's true. Look at you guys go. Oh my god, I really liked Death Note. There is no season 2, unfortunately, but I really liked Death Note. Anyway, next question. Justlingual has 3D printed the Splendor. Amazing, amazing. Haven't painted it yet. Boo. I broke my printer, got distracted. Hello, says Mia. You taking all the prompts from the Splendor and breaking it down to sections and bite-sized pieces is the same thing the baby students struggle with, but with simpler models. Showing how you do that might be good for them. That's fantastic. Okay, because you said that, I'm now full of concern that I'm gonna lose. Here we go. Sweet. I haven't lost anything from the model creation process of the Splendor, so I'm gonna save this now before they disappear forever. Aloha is low-key becoming my like translator. It's not because like, oh, I'm just so talented, I don't understand you guys anymore. But low-key, I forget what was so difficult because the things that are really hard for me now are not as relatable to new students. So I really appreciate Aloha being like, that's really cool and all, but this is what's actually difficult for babies. I need that. All right, Splendor, stage 1. It's really important I keep all of these. You guys loved this fucking model. I love that. And I want to let you guys know, I went from this. Wait, bear with me. I went from this to this in 1 hour. Dead serious. And I'm so sorry I didn't stream it. I thought I was just rushing the process and just getting it done. I don't know. I didn't think it was valuable. I know. Bad Mia. I will do better. This is going to be stage 2. I'm going to look at your questions in a second here, but because Aloha brought this up, I know it's really important that I save these processes, these stages here, my quick saves, before they disappear forever. All right, that's a good stage 2. Let's get one right before posing and then the actual posing. Oh, that's already posed. Man, that happens fast. There it is. I did some really chaotic things creating this. Sometimes when things feel chaotic or I don't know, not streamlined, it makes me not want to share them with you because I don't want to show bad habits, but I'm realizing like that's what makes me a really good, fast artist. And I should not be, I should be sharing that. Okay, this will be stage 3. And then last but not least, we'll have stage 4. Thank you guys for bearing with me while I grab these projects really quick. I know it's only a few minutes, but I have a feeling today's gonna be a very dense stream and I don't want to take any time away from y'all. I can't believe I almost didn't stream today. You guys can thank Ricky for that. Amazing. And I'm gonna do a better job instead of just leaving these floating like chaos in here. We're actually gonna save them. We're gonna make a new folder called Monster Class instead of Master Class. Okay, Monster Class Teach. And then we're gonna throw these files in there. This is ZPR.ZPR. We're gonna fix that. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Gorgeous. We are all ready. I will handle that in a bit. Let's get to other questions. If we have any dead time, I will go through this alone, but until then, we'll answer the level 1 stuff. And then John needs their next assignment. Have I just left you assignment list, Matt? Or not Matt, John? I saw Matt right here and I just said it out loud. Oh, you never showed me what the mushroom you made. Show me the thing that you made. Oh, I guess that was optional. You didn't have to do that. Okay. You get a break. Let me get you your next assignment, John. I think you've done hair. Oh, you haven't done hair yet? Oh my lord. What have I been doing? Good. You're gonna work on some hair. Same thing as usual. You don't have to push this one. Just get through the process. Same kind of deal though. Look at the thumbnail here. Okay, the thumbnail sucks. Never mind. Just watch the video. Get in the process of making hair. Very good. Assignment delivered. Hello, monkey. Welcome in. John says, Mia, small question. I notice you start with the base mesh usually. Do you have thoughts about Z-spheres start a figure, or would you never use them? Never fucking use them. They suck. Z-spheres are really cool for like Z-sketch, and occasionally I will use them to rig, but not really anymore. I don't like them. No. I don't like saying I just flat out don't like a feature, because there were so many times I said that in the past, like the transpose line, for example, and then I got better and then I liked it. But I have not found a point for Z-spheres yet. Except for Z-sketch, which is like a totally weird application of it. Max is here, Drip Dragon's here, hello, hello. Ooh, let's load. Just Linkle says, someone should make a spreadsheet with what skills are taught in the streams. Have any of the mods done that? That sounds like an Aloha thing. That'd be a long list. So what if we blow up Splendor with the ZBrush trick? What do you mean? Oh, this is only one piece right now, so that wouldn't do anything. Paint says, no joke, I'd love to see a Pokemon-inspired monster with 3 different stages. I would love that too. Hey, Secret Talks is back. Welcome back. Secret says, for parts like nose and ears and arms, do you recommend using separate subtools or do it all from a sphere? That was a really... those are very different things. Okay, great question though. Nose and ears, part of the head. Same thing. Unless you're sculpting completely from scratch. In that case, sometimes we'll make the ears a separate subtool. The nose, no. Same, within the sphere. Arms, God no. Separate subtool. I will make a... from here to here is a subtool. From here to here is a subtool. From here to here. Every time you hit a joint and it bends and does stuff, you probably need a new subtool. Usually. Again, it really just depends on what you're doing, because like my opening, like the knight I'm working on here, I mean, she's done. But like the body, this is just one piece. But if I was sculpting this from scratch, then yeah, I would break it up a little different. The arms would be a separate piece, the head would be a separate piece. I like to make sure the eyes are a different subtool, and then sometimes the ears, because the ears have a lot going on. They really do. But the nose, all that kind of stuff, no, you can sculpt that just straight on. Ultimately, this comes up to preference though. I am going to color this really quickly so you guys can see the way that I would break it down if I was sculpting from scratch. Every color is something that I would make into a different subtool. You know, I usually make this into 2 as well. There we go. That's how I break this down. Oh, and feet. I forgot. I don't have very many barefoot models, so it doesn't come up often. But this is the rough color breakdown. Every color is a subtool. Not right now, but like that's how I would design this. Good question. Empress says, having done my first character assignment, congratulations again, Empress. I think it's best you break the body parts down into their own tools. Subtools, not tools. I'm gonna be picky with you guys, especially my own students, because the language is confusing. Again, you have a ZPR that has Z tools have subtools, okay? Everything in here, all of these things are tools. And when you save a ZPR, it saves all of them. And then each one of these has subtools underneath it. Piece within piece within piece. Yes. Amber says, sorry, yes, subtools. No problem. Otherwise, there's hell to pay something goes wrong. And that's when you're sculpting a body from scratch. So for you, Empress, when you were working with a base mesh, I really don't think you need to take this body here and then break it up into pieces. I wouldn't do that. If you're sculpting from scratch to get to this point, then yes. I know John's over here like, what? As you keep working, you will develop your own preferences, but this is the general thing. Yes. Am I yelling into the mic? I feel like I'm talking really loud today, which is fine, but less gusto. Any other questions? It's great. Just Lingual says, I kind of want to talk about a friend and his art project, but then I realized it's kind of like tea and needed to chill. I'm trying to stay tame. Did somebody say tea? We have no drama over here. Everyone just gets along. So if you guys got outside drama, bring it in. All right. John says, Mia, actually, it's an even better question for me because the transpose line sucks. I feel that. Could you re-explain? Absolutely, hun. All right, so what the fuck is the deal with the transpose line and why is it so confusing? Let's talk about it. We got a body. Actually, first, I want to put this off to the side as emotional support because she looks so good. I need people to know that I know how to sculpt if I'm teaching. Here we go. All right, so we have a body. We're going to talk about the Gizmo versus the transpose line. When you click W on your keyboard, you enter move mode or 3D Gizmo mode. This is a 3D Gizmo. You can tell because it looks ridiculous. It looks like a gizmo, right? When you click Y, the letter Y as in yak, it transforms into the transpose line. They can do the same things roughly, okay? So the 3D Gizmo, if I grab like this little box right here, it will stretch things, I can rotate the model, I can move the model, all that kind of stuff. You can do all the same things with the transpose line. The reason why this confuses the crap out of people is because there are circles within the circles. So first of all, your gizmo, it always looks like a gizmo. Isn't that nice? It's always a sphere. The transpose line, when you click and drag, it follows you around. And then you can also move the transpose line itself. Very confusing. Why would you ever want to use this? Well, I find it does like certain like organic stretches a little bit better than the gizmo. Let me show you. So if I was making a monster and I wanted to change this arm up, I could use the gizmo and I could stretch things out and move it and whatnot. But every time I'm moving in a different axis, I have to grab something different on the gizmo. For the transpose line, I can do the same thing. I can click and drag out to the hand because that's what I'm, wanting to change. And if I grab the inner circle, not the outer circle, see, look, red circle, orange circle, red circle. Okay, like it's very small. I'm aware. If I could zoom in, I would, but it doesn't get any bigger. If you're hard of seeing, if you don't have great eyes, don't use this tool maybe. But anyway. If I click and drag, I can do the same thing as I did with the gizmo, but for me, it feels a bit faster because I can move it a lot faster and easier than if I was doing the gizmo, for example, the 3D gizmo, I would have to stretch, bend, see how many more clicks that takes? Versus the transpose line, I can just toggle it. So that's what I'm trying to say. I like using transpose line for things that are kind of more organic, because it's more free form, but it's very confusing for beginners. So yes, if you go to the end of the transpose line, it stretches. the middle circle here will move, and the circle all the way at the top will cut. You can do all the same things with the Gizmo. If you hold down Command and click and drag on the boxes, you will get the cut feature. If you drag right here, you get the stretch feature, and then here is the move. It's personal preference. You can use either. The only reason why I use the transpose line is because I enjoy the freeform stretchiness of it. We should make a render of the knight riding the splendor. Real easy like. All right, we got some tea. We're on a tea break right now. Also, I need some water. Just Lingual says, okay, so friend has been working on a game for almost a decade and finally released his demo. Yay! But also, I can't tell what his game is. It's a board game, miniature game, card game, TTRPG, and resource gathering crafting game. The artwork is cool because he hired some good artists. Yeah, it sounds like a hot mess. Oh, my favorite. It's like, why do one thing well when I can do many things poorly? And it's obviously a joke, but it seems like a lot of people live like this. And I'm like, stop. Stop it. Stop it. Do one thing well, okay? That's why you'll see people like lose their mind of like when like the remastered Tetris came out and you get like a 10 out of 10 everywhere, like on IGN, or IGN sucks, but whatever. All over the place, great reviews, because Tetris aims to do one simple thing and does it very well, right? Versus like a game like Red Dead Redemption 2, also fantastic, but what a harder challenge because it's such a more broad scope. And story, moral of the day, if you are new or an amateur, aim to make Tetris. Stop trying to make Red Dead. That's how I feel with like some of my students when they like, well, they want to go straight into project work, straight into it instead of learning the fundamentals. They're like, I'm just going to make this crazy huge game with all these intricate systems. Don't. Stop it. Paint says, Mia, I feel like I would be too busy making my models. Do the YMCA with this tool. The transpose line. If you're not having fun when you're sculpting, you're doing it wrong. So good job. Very good. Forge says, that cut thing is a new one for me. That'll be useful. Oh, okay, wait. If you're gonna actually use it, panic. Let me show you something, because it kind of sucks. So when you do the cut thing or whatever I just showed you, Matt, click and drag. So it looks like it's doing a good job. It's not. It sucks. Don't use this. Don't use it. If you actually want a nice cut, use the knife tool. Okay. Sorry, I know I showed you guys something and I was immediately like, don't use that. It sucks. Just because I know what Matt does the same thing that I do for a living, which is like 3D printable models, and like when you get really thin meshes like this, and then you try to do anything with it, that will create huge problems. So. If you are in the early stages, like you're creating a monster like Splendor, or you're working on a sphere, then yes. Then it's, okay, can we behave? Cool. Then it's cool to use it to flatten because the topology is simple, and that's fine. But don't actually use it on anything with complex topology like fingers, or it'll just smush on itself. Use it to modify primitive shapes. So it doesn't suck, just be aware. The way I have to like violently pivot when I have students of different levels asking questions and making comments, I'm like, wait, no, don't use it. What's the knife tool? Oh, there's Forge. Back to the knife then. The knife tool is a super cool tool that lets you cut pieces of your mesh off, and it generates new topology in its wake. What does that mean? Let me show you. So if you click on K, when you're here, so B for the brush palette and then K for knife. Here are all your knife brushes. I like using the lasso the most. Click on skip this note. It's just a note saying that when you hold Command Shift, it's a new brush. Anyway, hold down Command and Shift. That is something on Windows. Control. And you'll see this line appear. I'm going clockwise right now. Why does that matter? That's what it's going to take away. So if I go counterclockwise, that's what's going to keep. But yeah, there you go. Really cool. If you use this on really dense high topology, you're going to crash your program. And you'll be like, oh, the knife brush sucks. And I'm like, you're using it. You shouldn't, no. Also, if you have subdivision levels, it's not gonna work. That goes for pretty much every brush. Never mind. You know what? No, we're not gonna get into that and confuse you guys. The knife brush doesn't work with subdivision levels. That's all you need to know. But there you go. This is different than if I were to mask this area, polygroup it, delete that topology, and then close holes. Do you see how this does an absolute garbage job? It gets even worse depending on how complicated the hole gets. The knife brush does a much better job. See how, okay. That's why the knife brush is really cool. And again, if you're crashing your program, it's probably you, babe. I'm so tired of people. Again, not my students don't do this, but I definitely get comments of people being like, ZBrush is so unstable. And I'm like, let me see your work. And they don't have a portfolio, they don't have any work, and they are like always doing these outrageous operations on like 30 million polys. And I'm like, stop it. Stop. And yeah, ZBrush is also kind of unstable. They can both be true. All right. Just Lingual says, Mia, how do you adjust hands without getting bored and making the fingers look like Slender Man? Lean into it. I love long fingers. Max says, wait, that's sick. I'm glad that was helpful. John says, Mia, when using the knife tool, would you have to worry about closed holes? No, because it generates topology for you, and that's what makes the knife brush so sexy. Why does my camera keep rotating? Stop it. Stay there. Cool. Oh, now you can see my robe. You guys don't need to see my little plaid robe, which used to be Ricky's, and I took. All right. Paint says, Mia, I did the crashing a lot with the knife tool. I know, honey. But you didn't complain about it. You weren't a whiner about it. You were great. Yes, the knife brush will crash the more complex that you get. Absolutely. Which means you're using it wrong. Just Lingual says, I literally was needing to figure out the knife brush. That's perfect. Someone new is here. ZZO. I'll call you Zoe. Welcome. How can I get a clay buildup brush that has smooth edge and surfaces? I tried increasing stroke, but didn't get satisfied with that. Okay, so clay buildup with smooth edge and surface. It sounds like you just want to use the layer brush, truthfully. But I like your question because it's going to touch on a bunch of important things. All right, where's clay buildup? I don't even have it docked right now. Let me go grab it. Clay buildup. So when you use clay buildup, it looks like this. So we don't have a smooth surface because you have an alpha on here, this square. So that's why you're seeing all these repeating squares, right? So you can actually just get rid of the alpha, hold spacebar, see your little square friend here, and then go to alpha off. So that's gonna make it smoother. You are getting a bunch of these little lines here because that's kind of the way clay buildup works. It's like it's throwing a circle down each time. You can increase the stroke to smooth that out. And if you also want it to have a smoother edge, I mean, it's kind of how it works, is having an edge of some sort. But you could reduce, so see how the default focal shift is -56. What does that mean? Focal shift is the fall off of your brush. What does that mean? Essentially, it just means like your brush is acting on a point, and the fall off is how it blends into the model. So if I make the focal shift negative, the fall off is really small. That means there's no blending area. When you hear fall off zone, just think blend area. So if I increase the focal shift to really high, so this was -100. Now here's +100. There you go. Look how smooth that is because we have lots of blending zone. Look at my screen right here. See these two circles you have? The inside circle is where the brush is acting, and the outside circle is the maximum area that's going to affect and fall off into. So you can tell right now there's a huge difference between the inside and the outside. That's a lot of blending zone. When I go down to a negative focal shift, there you go. Now you'll see there's like no blending zone. Does that make sense? Now, as far as what you said, you really want a smooth edge and a smooth surface. Have you looked at Clay Tubes Constant? Like, they interest you. I like Clay Tubes Constant. That's why I don't even have clay buildup blocked, because it's really nice and smooth. And you can increase the focal shift. It's so smooth, it's so nice. And the really cool thing about this brush is if you click and you scribble in one spot. I haven't lifted up my pen. Look, I'm just scribbling. it doesn't actually build up volume unless you click again. See how it still just looks like that? If I use clay buildup, the brush you're using currently, Zoe, if I click and scribble, it will just keep going and going and going. I don't like that. I like when I have control over, like, if I want to build up material, I keep dropping my pen. It feels like when you're actually working with clay and like you're adding more material. So I click. So look at my pen. I'm lifting go, click, lifting go, clicking. And each time I do that, that's how I build up material. As opposed to clay buildup, you can just click and scribble. Did that make any sense? If it didn't, let me know and I'll explain it again, but better. Good questions. I love this. Ember says, also, is it just me, or can I no longer say points properly? Points? Points? I don't know. Just you. Reaper says, personally, I'm all for the jagged aesthetic. One of my favorite artists, she does a lot of streams too. Of course, I can't remember her name. She streams on Pixelogic sometimes. Oh, I'm gonna try to find her. She has long brown hair. She's funnier than me. Low bar, but anyway, back on. I'm gonna see if I can find her. She does a lot of like really rough sculpting in Dynamesh, and I think you guys would really enjoy watching her sculpt as well. I'm gonna find her until there's another question. It's not Anna Carolina or Carolina. Oh, also, it freaking happened, y'all. Maxon officially shut down ZBrush Core and ZBrush Mini. They're like, oh, we're gonna bring it back. They didn't. I knew they weren't going to, and I'm still mad about it. Technically, I know people that work there now, but I like them. They're not like the business guys, they're just the art guys, hence why I really like them. Oh well. I do feel conflicted being critical of Maxon now that I know people that work there and I really like them. I don't even know who I'm talking about when I say Maxon. I don't know. I don't know who's making these decisions. Alright, let me scroll through here and see if I can find her. Oh my gosh, she has blonde hair now. What? Okay, anyway, her name is Ashley A. Adams. Wow, that's very memorable. And she just kicks ass. And she does a lot of this like rough, like edge texture sculpting. It's really hard to put that into words for some reason. But yeah, like the topology of this. Oh no, she's not blonde. See, she has brown hair. Why do you have blonde hair in the thumbnail? I don't understand. I'm gonna put this in the chat because you guys need to know about her because she's great. Okay, A cubed. How did I never connect that? A cubed is Ashley A. Adams. I told you she's funnier than me. But yeah, she's really cool. And then I haven't seen Anna Carolina in a bit. Anyway, just wanted to highlight her because she does that like rough sculpting and she's awesome. More questions? Zoe says, there are so many settings about that. Brush, embed, alpha, stroke. It's so confusing. I know. It's very confusing. It's still much. It's still much. That's why, like, I don't know if you're actively learning or what, but insert plug. I do teach, and I teach one-on-one, and I break this down to make a lot more sense. And the trick is to not drown you with information. I don't even tell my students about stroke until like 10 assignments in. I tell you the bare minimum you need to know to actually make some progress. Because otherwise it feels like you learn a little bit and it's like, bam, roadblock. You learn a little bit and it's like way too much information. And you're not gonna remember any of it because it's too much. It's like, it's a lot like walking into a classroom full of 5-year-olds, instead of teaching them the alphabet, you like you sing the ABCs once and then you give them like a novel. It's like, of course you're going to fail, and then you get really frustrated, but it's just because you're not being kind to the way that you learn. It doesn't mean you're stupid, it just means you cannot hear the ABC song and then read a novel, okay? Max says, Mia, this is unimportant in the grand scheme of things. However, I just want to see if it gets confetti. I don't know if you saw the message before. I got engaged! You what? Of course that gets confetti, and it also gets hearts because love. Congratulations, Max! Oh my goodness, that's incredible! I'm so happy for you. Love is in the air. That's fantastic. I also am like just so tickled that you shared that with this community. I don't know, I'm really glad. I love hearing personal updates about you guys, I really do. Congratulations! I will not teach anything until everyone says congrats in the chat. I know you guys probably already did, but I missed it. So I'm going on strike until people say congratulations to Max for being engaged. I also just need a water break. Very good. We're getting hearts in the chat. That's what I wanted. Thank you guys. Good, good. Also, thank you for repeating yourself, Max, because I did miss that, and I would have been so sad if I missed that. There's the congrats. Thank you. Amazing. And first says, oh my gosh, I've been watching her past streams, A Cubed, Ashley A. Adams. I've been liking her workflow. It's really awesome. It's fun to see. It's not like, I guess, beginner friendly, unless you're just like some art god. I don't know. I was too dumb to follow it initially. But it's really cool. I need to watch more of her streams now that I know things. Okay, congratulations over. What's the next question? This has been an hour of just answering questions. This is really fun. Oh, my audio keeps cutting out, but not anything else? Yeah, I think I need to buy a new mic. It's time. It's time. Y'all have definitely done enough for me to put some money aside to buy a mic. So sorry about that. Zoe asks, does the brush add volume perpendicular to the screen or on the surface of the object? That's a really good question because, yeah. It's camera related. Let me just look at that. I don't know you, so I don't know like your skill level or what you know or don't know, but it can be camera related when you're using like the move brush. I like to use the move brush with option, which will invert the brush and it can pull it away based on your camera or whatever. But for the most part, just pause and look to see where your cursor is, and that's where it's going to affect. But I swear, if I go over there to the side versus like going straight on and then do it, they'll look different. No, it's about the same. So yeah, it's perpendicular, but it can be. Was there a painful noise? I have no idea. My subwoofer just shook my pea brain out of my ear hole. I'm so sorry. I don't know why it's happening. All right. Oh, you know what? I can actually just mute my mic. One second. I'm gonna unplug and replug it. Alrighty, we are all replugged in. Just Single says, my university recently switched all the emails from Google to Microsoft, and I'm afraid of losing the ZBrush student license I bought. Aw, that would suck. I hope you don't. Emperor says, I can confirm with Mia's teachings, I went from knowing nothing to being able to loosely pilot and explain to others certain things in ZBrush within, I'd say, a month. Yeah, you were really quick too. I'd say that's about right. You got through the fundamentals in about a month. Not the fundamentals of art, but the fundamentals of ZBrush. For anyone lurking or who wants more one-on-one help, I do have that linked in the chat, my mentorship program. It is not, there we go, classroom based, it is one-on-one based, though I do love answering questions on stream. The base tier is $30 a month, but if you want to make money with it and you're going to ask me lots of business questions, I'm going to be a little harder on you, and it is $60 a month instead. Because business is no joke. Alright, Paint got some questions for me. There we go. Just taking notes. I like it. Very good. Murad Designs is here. Hello, hello. Welcome in. You are new. We're doing a little bit of a different stream here where I've just been answering questions and doing demos. It's been a lot of fun. Usually I just work on doing characters and creatures. Zoe says, is there a way to change that perpendicular behavior? No. What else would you want other than perpendicular? I'm just very curious to like why you wouldn't want your brush to sculpt onto the model. Like, what do you want? John says, Mia, another small question. Do you always use the regular move brush? Move infinite, move topological? There's so many. I use move pretty much exclusively, unless I am dealing with multiple subtools, or my bad, polygroups. Then I like using move topological. Do I have any examples here? Yes. So let's say this is hard surface. This is kind of a terrible example. But if I want to just move this around the whole thing, I use move. If I want to move just the rondel but nothing else, I can use move topological instead. If you want like a really nice clean result, you really should mask the piece instead and just use the Gizmo. But either is fine. I really like using move topological when I am styling hair. That is my favorite thing, because then I can grab individual hair strands and fluff it out. Murad says, I have to admit, the stream looks cozy. You get +1 point for that. Thank you. I like it here too. Emperor says, oh, I suppose I could ask. Mia, for my assignment of individual assets for a new artist, what should they look to hunt down? Asset individual assignments. I'm unsure what your question means. I'm trying to think. Like how you should build assets or what you should add to it. For now, I think you should just focus on more proficiency on your organic and hard surface, which I know just means everything. But I'm going to provide you your next assignment. Actually, I have it for you now. I'm going to send it over to you right now. I want you to sculpt this magic staff because this little walkthrough will give you practice on, really it's sculpting, but some of the techniques and like how I have you twist all the vines together to make the staff, it's more like hard surface-esque. And I don't want you getting hung up on it and getting perfectionist-y. I just want you to do it. Because here's like the thing with I want my students to know. You can always repeat an assignment. It's not going to be the last magic staff you ever make, you know? So there is your next assignment. And then we will be working on a hair asset library. But for now, since you're coming down from that big project we just tackled together, we're going to focus on just this one thing. Is that Blender? No, this is ZBrush. Like John said, there's so many like different brushes and tools. I'm such a find a tool, use that always guy. I get you. Honestly, anything that bogs down your progress of just doing the thing of making art. If finding new tools makes you excited to create, then do it. If you're gonna stress over using the correct tool, then stop doing that. Emperor says, so like looking at finding weapons, hair accessories, etc. Okay, I get you. We will narrow that down whenever you want to establish like more of an aesthetic, whether you want to be like high fantasy, sci-fi, steampunk, Norse mythology kind of flair. Like, we're too early for that. Good question though. Very good question. For now, I would just say make characters that you're going to enjoy. And so again, I don't build my asset library intentionally. I don't sit down and make 10 shirts or whatever. I just make the characters I want to make, and then before I pose them, I go, wow, that's a nice pauldron, and then I save that pauldron to maybe use in the future. Maniac says, Mia, I do want/need business advice a bit down the line. Do I need to upgrade to the pro mentorship? No. I'm not going to make any of my students pay double for something that they are currently paying $30 for. If at some point, Maniac, you go into like super cyan crazy production mode and you're requiring like an hour phone call every single week to sit down and go through business stuff, then yes, I will ask you to upgrade. But as of right now, you're still in the process of getting comfortable creating consistently. So no, I'm not concerned about that right now. Oh, how nice. Murad said, I'm more of a Photoshop guy myself, but I appreciate a fellow art lover. As artists, we do share a lot of love for doing things that, we love. I shall subscribe, and when I'm free, I'll be watching your stream later. Oh, that's very sweet. Welcome to the tab room. John says, Mia, I come from a Photoshop Illustrator industry, So I have such a bad habit to break with using one tool for the job. And again, as you get more competent with ZBrush, you will pick up more tools. But in the beginning, again, I know I keep comparing you guys to children. But like when you're first learning something, that's kind of what it's like. My point being, you need to learn your ABCs before you start writing novels. We're still in the ABC zone. This has been very fun. Do we have any more questions? Or do you guys want to see me break down this monster? We're about an hour into the stream. I plan to stream for at least another 30 minutes to an hour. Depends how many questions we get. I'm really enjoying this stream. This has been great. Break that monster down. Let's go. For soup. All right. So this is where my students tend to get really confused and really hung up. It's when they just cannot comprehend how we go from I'll do a this to this. I should have put these in the same project. Okay, we're gonna do some shuffling. Let's open up Splendor 1. I'm going to put all of these stages into this same ZPR. I'll show you how. So this is stage 1. We're going to copy this tool, and then we're going to open stage 2. This isn't like a tutorial right now. I'm just like explaining how you can combine multiple tools into one ZPR. And we're going to go to stage 2, and then we're going to click on something and click paste. I don't think it will overwrite, but I'm paranoid, so I like to just make sure. I'm gonna go to the top and name it the top subtool 1, so I know what the heck is going on. This one we named 2. Great. And then we're gonna name this Splendor Master Monster Breakdown. Real simple. All right, next up, we're gonna grab the 3rd stage. Copy tool, and then again we're going back to that large ZPR. Paste tool, back to the top, naming it 3, and then we'll be able to break this down. So we got 1, 2, 3. That's so much more satisfying than what I was going to do. Almost at the last stage here, and then I can much more easily break this down for y'all. And we got 4 final. Amazing. I think I broke this down enough. Yes. Shout out to Aloha for even reminding me to do this. This is very cool. I think people are really going to learn a lot from this. All right, so the way that I have this is we went from 1, 2, 3, 4. And this whole process took 1 hour, which is not realistic. Oh, I like it. You got a little clean station. Cute. John says, Mia, I know it's a super advanced question, but at some point, could you explain how to find real world size/scale in ZBrush? Oh my god, I hate doing that in ZBrush. My answer is don't, but that's not helpful. Go to Z plugin, Scale Master, Set Scene Scale. I hate doing it here. I don't like it. Don't is my answer, honestly. I do it in Mesh Mixer or Blender. I hate this. You can click on About Scale Master and it will legit give you, okay, like seriously, John, go here to Z plugin, Scale Master, click on this big button. Each one of these, it's so confusing that they have videos linked on how to use it, literally. And it tells you exactly how to do it by clicking next. I don't like it. And then Talks, I'm gonna call you Talks or Secret. I like Secret. Secret says how to sculpt a character from only one reference, which is the front/side view. It gets kind of hard to make. An eyeball is okay to use AI to generate a side view. Using AI to generate a side view might not be accurate. Sculpting a character from one reference, why? Why would you do that? You don't have to do that. So I understand, look, we're gonna do a little side note here, because I have a feeling I know what's going on. Let's type in like gecko. And I imagine you saw like this and you're like, oh my God, he's so cute. He's perfect. You know, you're going to sculpt this exactly. Wow, that is awesome. God, I love geckos. Anyway. And so you're like, I'm going to use this reference. So you put it behind your scene in ZBrush and you click see-through mode and you trace over it. But now you're missing the other views, right? And you're like, well, what do I do? Well, you're not sculpting something that doesn't exist. Just look at other pictures of geckos. Literally. Side reference. There is absolutely nothing on this planet that you are sculpting where you cannot get more references for. And I know it's like, well, it's not, thank you, Aloha. It's like, well, it's not the same. I'm like, well, that's where the artistry comes in. So let's say it wasn't a gecko. Let's say that you found a pirate that you really, really liked. Something very detailed like this, gorgeous. And you're like, well, I don't know what the back looks like. Well, you're an artist. Figure it out, you know? Or look at like the skirt here and type in like, this is like a half skirt, like asymmetrical. So you can go to Pinterest and type in can I spell asymmetrical? Wow, no, I can't. The way I can't spell on stream, I just immediately panic. I don't know why. Asymmetrical skirt. You can grab references of what these skirts, here you go, a bunch of different views and stitch that together. So my answer to you is there is no world where you should be confined to only one reference. If you use AI to generate a side view, it's just gonna do it wrong. You know what I mean? Not that AI can't be used for that, but use AI to get inspired by mood boards and colors and like a spread of interesting shapes. Don't copy it, because then it's just gonna be wrong. I had a student that used an AI image to sculpt like this Viking man, and his belly button was like between his breastbone practically, and I was like, dude, that's AI. I know you reference AI. Monkey is back. Behold, I've returned. Welcome back. It's really common. I noticed that like people that are earlier in their art journey, you know, like you guys set these like rules for yourself and you just don't have to. You don't have to. Always. You should never be sculpting from one reference. And I'm not yelling at secret. I'm yelling at everybody. I've had students that think that using references is cheating, which is crazy. You don't know what anything looks like, I promise. I don't either. That's why I have a million references. I actually have a software called Eagle. Here. And for every project, I have lots of references. And they look nothing alike, really. So this is the puppet handcart I'm working on. Here's a request that I got, and here's a bunch of pieces. And then you kind of grab them and put them together. Here's some more from this. This is a really common thing that I do. I will just Google like what I'm sculpting, like a barrowgast, and I will screenshot all of the Google image results. Why would I do that? I do that so I can look at them. Okay, this isn't helpful because it's just the same freaking monster exactly over and over. Anyway, let's say there are a bunch of pirates. I can look at it and I can identify key features. It's like a game of like, instead of spot the difference, spot the same. So I noticed with the barrowgast, they all have intestines hanging out. They're all a very heavy build. They're kind of hunched over. Their feet are kind of thrown in like a bit crooked, for example, too. And with that, that's very helpful for me to know of like key features I need to include in my model as well. So same with like, if it was like a gecko, for example, they all have spots, they'll have these big old eyes on the side of their face, and a lot of them had really funny like tongue poses, and so you can incorporate that as well. Monkey says, I don't even know what my own back looks like. That's a hysterical spot on comment. And Reaper says, Mia, it might come from the general workflow of modeling drawn characters into 3D models that usually entails a turnaround. Yeah, maybe. In that case, you know, you're just like copying something that you see. What is that reference software called again? Eagle. As in the bird. Pika. Sater says, can confirm, I am a living barrowgast. The way you've been silent, Sater, to come in and just like unprompted self-roast. So bad. I love it. Oh man. Alright, we're breaking down this monster. This is how dragon sounds, by the way. Blim. PureRef is free. I don't know why I cannot use PureRef. I hate it. That's a strong word. I really don't like it. It's great. There's nothing wrong with it. There's something about, I don't know if it's using it on a MacBook or what, but the navigation, ugh. It just does not work the way that I want it to, the nav. I don't like it. Aloha's like, use PureRef, it's so good. Mia has a weird skill issue. Shut up, Aloha. This is true. Dragon says, remember, you can always use a reference of a different, similarly built character if you only have a front shot. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sure Secret's like, God, I get it, guys. No, we're just using your question to springboard into like a topic that a lot of us are excited about. If you guys ever ask a question and it gets over answered, it feels like, we're all just dorks, okay? Me, everyone, all the regulars in the tavern, all the peasants. We just like to talk, and it gets a little echo chambery sometimes. We're just enthusiastic. We don't think you're dumb. Mia is a fake dork. 100% can confirm. Stage 1 reminds me of this. I think that's way cooler than what I made, but I appreciate it. This has been fun as heck. Okay, we're gonna break down this monster. I don't know how far we're gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys. I don't know. This is gonna sound terrible. I don't know how you guys don't know how to go from this to this. And I understand a lot of changes have happened. So don't, if someone posts the frickin' owl meme of draw the rest of the fucking owl, I'm gonna ban you. Okay. But I genuinely don't know where you guys get stuck. And I want you to tell me, like, what is the question? Okay? It makes me sound like a terrible teacher. I know. I'm just being upfront with you. Because if you guys tell me what specifically is so confusing going from here to here, other than like the color is not relevant, I could really break that down piece by piece then. John says, Mia, I love the fact that this stream over answers. It helps so much to me. Okay, good. I just want to make sure that, I don't know. I can't see your guys' faces, and if I was Secret, I'd be like, damn guys, okay, I got it. Hey Shans, welcome in. Hello, hello. This is true. Who did this? Someone get rid of paint. Art books. We have detailed instructions on how to become a professional artist. Also art books. Yes, it's true. I'm doing that right now. But I'm self-aware, at least. Someone asked a question that's more specific other than how to draw. Thank you, Aloha. Get out. Because I would hate if Mia, when the baby students understand. Because if I was going to break down how to get from here to here, I think it would sound incoherent. And I want to make sure if I get a little bit of guidance on how to break that down. Oh, look, there's paint. I'm going to ban you for 5 minutes. 1 minute. Goodbye, paint. Here we go. Max says, do you detail everything at once or do one piece then another? See, that helps me a ton already. So like, how did I go from here to here? So what I do when I'm looking at this, there were two big problems with this. One, I didn't know how I wanted the model to flow. So I didn't know if I wanted the neck to be straight. I didn't know if I wanted it to be like lankier or stubbier or what. And two, I didn't know what the defining like shape language was going to be. So when I went to this stage here, the first thing I did was straighten the neck, and it looks really stupid. I did that because I can now put a bend modifier on it and it's easier to post. But my point being, I decided to pick something and detail it so I could have shape language I could use throughout the rest of the model. So I did the neck first, and I did a few iterations of this till I found something that I liked. And I noticed that I kind of like this C shape here, this like little like rib, or like, it kind of looks like ribs all over the body. And so I started grabbing and putting them elsewhere, and they kind of reminded me of petals, and so that's why I started to layer them that way. So you can see I did it here, and down the tail. So I picked a shape I liked, and then I repeated that said shape. And then I developed that even further when I went from here to here. You can see I repeat that same texture everywhere. And then it looked really plain, so I had to bridge it together somewhere. And the way I bridged it together was using pattern. Pattern is a brush in ZBrush that is called, bear with me here, pattern. And it looks like this. See? And that's what I did to kind of bridge in some of that noise. So again, I went from here to here, detailing one piece kind of all the way, and then repeating those textures throughout the rest of the model. Do I ever sculpt pre-posed? Rarely. I really only do it for dancers. Hey Foxy, welcome in. We're actually talking about the Splendor. I have literally made the Splendor its own teaching moment because it's that good. So thank you. Foxy is who requested the Splendor. Technically they're GM, but yes. And then Aloha says, Mia, I think it's more how you explore forms and try things out until you find something that looks right, which is very nebulous, right? And that's something that's very difficult to, know when it's right. I like that I'm making you guys ask the questions, because now I know how to break this down for you. But I know if I just word vomited at you like a fire hose on how we went from here to here, you guys would be like, okay, you're gonna remember like 10% of what I said. But if you ask the question, Max asked, do you detail everything or just one piece? And the answer is pretty much just one piece, and then I take those forms and copy it. Max is now gonna remember that, or at least it's the first time I've heard that information in a way that might stick. I think that Max would need to ask that question and hear the answer at least 4 more times, if it was me anyway, before it actually sticks all the way. But I think it's gonna do a better job. So keep asking questions. I'm gonna force you guys to exercise your brain here on what are you so confused about going from here to here. Because if you just say how, that's how you get tutorials like this that just suck, Because that's the question you asked. You asked how to draw the rest of the owl. You're asking how to do the rest of the monster. That's not a question. And I've been telling you guys this before, of asking answerable questions is the best tool I can give you in your art journey. Seriously. Forge says, for me, sometimes it can be a bit of a mental overload, probably knowing in the back of my mind how to get from point B to point C, but being afraid to take the wrong first step and end up faffing. Oh, what a fun word. Faffing about. So if you're a faffer, I have a solution for you, and I call it chaos copy. So let's say that we are at this stage and you are going to start faffing about and you're getting locked up and you're panicking. You're going to hit Command C or go to File, Save As, and you're going to call it Splendor Chaos Copy in all caps. I'm so serious right now. Now you have chaos copy. You're allowed to do whatever you want. Absolutely anything. There are no wrong answers. And it doesn't matter if you fuck it up because you have the original still to go back to. So I think this would be more fun if I brought in the spiral brush. What if I brought in some hair fun shapes? I actually wish I did this now. Sometimes when you save a copy of something, you will realize you can really just start messing around and doing whatever. And it's okay if it comes out stupid, because let's say if I go too far and end up really not liking the shapes that I create here, I can just go back to the original. So there's chaos copy, and we're back. But you will find at least one new shape that you created that you liked from the chaos copy, I guarantee it, and you can incorporate it back into your main piece. Or, what I usually do, my chaos copy becomes my final, honestly. Aloha, stop saying that. Cake for the chaos copy? Absolutely. This is beautiful. How to make a map, monkey style. On a real note though, is that not, this looks really good. I feel like this is somewhat helpful. Okay, on a real note, I know these tutorials suck and that's the joke, but that is the first step. Primary shapes, and then secondary shapes. Start refining it. Same with this. Primary shapes, square, 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 and then putting stuff inside of it. Secondary, secondary, the stairs in between and that kind of stuff. Max says, Mia, fairly certain I've asked this before. Good. But how do I centralize a subtool? So if you want to take, let's say the neck, for some reason, it ended up over here, and you're like, oh no, what do I do? It's broken forever. Just click Unify. Unify, now it's in the center of the scene. It's not going to be the right size, but you can fix that. So go to Unify, and then Mirror and Weld to make sure it's actually symmetrical. Mirror and Weld is located under Tool, Geometry, and then Mirror and Weld. So again, this is Tool, Geometry. They hide it. Modify Topology, Mirror and Weld. See, I'm glad I showed you guys just now because it didn't say all the steps. Anyway, and then once you have it here, enable symmetry by clicking X, W for the 3D Gizmo, and resize that little dude and get it back in position. And there you go. You have fixed your lost neck. Max says, like, bring a subtool to the center so I can use symmetry. There you go. In the Mirror and Weld, I just said to do that step just in case it had fallen out of symmetry, and now it's going to behave correctly. Where is Unify? Great question. Tool, Deformation, right at the top, Unify. Also, bonus, this is super important. Is everyone paying attention? Do you see this X, Y, Z right here? These are buttons. I know. It's so fucking annoying. These are buttons. And if you click them off where they're not highlighted, nothing will happen. You need to make sure that X, Y, and Z are all highlighted to work. Why would you want to unify it to only the Y axis or Z? I don't know. But just know that if it's working stupid, it's because all your little buttons are not highlighted. And you'll notice that that's true on a lot of buttons. Mirror is just on X by default, which makes sense because you don't want it to mirror in every direction, just across the X axis. Same with dynamic right here. If you have dynamic selected or solo, these have buttons too. I know, every button has a button. So if I click on solo, that means it's going to show one subtool at a time. Okay? And if I click on dynamic, see that text is flashing white? I know. Now it's going to only solo when I click, which is really annoying and really horrifies a lot of my students. The more you know. Oh, I like that. Primary is the room. Secondary is the furniture in the room. Tertiary is a light switch, drawer, knobs, and outlets. That's a very good comparison. I like it. Someone put that in tab quotes, even though it's educational and not funny. I don't know, put that somewhere. Maybe resources. That's a good one. Sean says the layout is where I have trouble. I can't even get to step 1. That is so fair. Also, you're touching on something very important here, Sean's. The primary shapes do all of the heavy lifting. It is the most important part. It is the hardest part, okay? So if that's where you're getting stuck, that means you're probably doing it right. Empress, lol, even something like brush size has a dynamic feature. I know, don't get me started. That's why I feel bad when I have like brand new students and they ask a bunch of questions. I will like preface it by like, don't worry about it. I will answer your question, but don't even think about it right now. Stop it. But more buttons, buttons. That is so perfect. Oh man, beautiful. Beautiful Foxy. There are 25 people here hanging out. I love it. This is a lot of fun. I didn't know I could do a stream where I literally just answer questions and not sculpt. I don't know. This is fun. We are coming up on an hour and a half. I'm gonna take a small 5-minute break and come back. So think of questions. I'm gonna put a screenshot of both of these because y'all are awfully quiet now that you have to figure out how to get from step 1 to stage 1 to stage 2. So there's stage 1, and this is the final product. What information do you not have that does not let you get from here to here? Okay? I'll be back in like literally 5 minutes. If you haven't already, please like the stream. It helps. Goodbye. Hello, hello. I am back from my break. Alrighty. Also, I had some DMs from students, which is great. So let's go ahead and review that. Just Single says, Mia, not gonna lie, you could probably do a stream of just about anything with regular peasants. Yeah, I know. I've legit thought about casually streaming games, but that'd just be in Discord probably. All right, Matt says, hi Mia, just throwing a question at you. Sorry to bother. You gotta stop saying that, dude. Is this the sort of level detail you'd aim for at the blockout stage? Matt's one of my super students, and very polite. All right, this is not, it's deleteme.obj. Oh my God. We're gonna take a look at this. I have not seen it yet. So to import an OBJ, since we might as well talk about all of it, go to Tool, Import, and then you can bring in an OBJ, FBX, STL, whatever you want. Here you go. And they ask, is this the sort level of detail you aim for at the blockout stage? You're a little past blockout, in my opinion, but barely. This is pretty spot on. I've never been able to look at your model like up close. This is fun. These are getting a little high res, but they look pretty good. I mean, this is just detail. This is just done. This piece here. Oh, there's no thickness to it, but yeah. Be careful when you are adding fabric folds to something like this before adding thickness, because I find that sometimes when you do add thickness to it, it gets angry. Just putting it out there. And then you might want to add buckles here if they're going to be here beforehand, just before you get heavy into the detailing. But this looks good. This looks really good. Make sure you save this hair when you're done with it. Yeah, you could get this detailed in 30 minutes. Easily. Easily. Just bevel and add trim to everything. Good job. I don't know if Matt was here, but if not, I can say yes. Yes. Reviewed at 1:35, roughly. Which isn't super important. You don't need to watch it. All right, and then Max had, I'm working on making some potion bottles before I watched the tutorial. Progress. You made that without watching the tutorial? I'm so proud of you. There's so much you have to remember there to get to this point, Max. That is fantastic. Good job. Seriously, that's a huge win. Perfect. Forge says, my desktop is full of files called delete me. Buckles be there. 30 minutes. 30 minutes. 30 minutes. You got this. Pick like one thing that you want to be textured with like something that's like dense, whether it's like a plaid or a pattern or something, and then move on. You got it. You just gotta believe. Just Single says, Mia, we could play Peak with the peasants. I'd buy the game for you. Oh my god. I forgot about Peak. Forge says, thanks, Mia. You're very welcome. Empress, blackout, excuse me, I'm going to sleep in a lake. Matt's been doing this for just a little bit longer than you have. It's me. Pav, you ask a simple question in the tavern. Oh my gosh, it's a full gif of me like going insane. That's amazing. I'm sorry, is this not the content that you wanted? Do you want a one-word answer? You know, Aloha, the next question that you ask me, I'll give you a one-word answer just for you. I'm a GIF. Look at me go. God damn, why do I move so much? Okay. Anyway. Any other questions? Duke says, what are your top 5 games if you were to play on stream? So I've thought about playing Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon, because I'm just so chatty when I play that game. I don't know why I have so much to say. I'm also not very good at it. So I die a lot and things, I don't know. It's like if something goes slightly sideways in a game, it's just the response is to panic. Anyway, my husband thinks it's funny, so I imagine you guys would too. Anyway, Tainted Grail would be a lot of fun. I wouldn't play games like Monster Hunter because I just want to do my thing. And if someone actually me on a combo of Monster Hunter, I would lose my shit. I know all of the combos in Monster Hunter. I'm very knowledgeable about the game. I'm just bad at it, okay? I don't need people to tell me that. Games where I like micromanage stuff, like the way that I play Stardew Valley, like it's a literal factory. I don't do Joja, but that could be a lot of fun. Games where I talk to people. I like reading stuff out loud. That'd be fun. So yeah, Tainted Grail, Stardew Valley. Those are my top 2 that I've thought about. I can't play games like Expedition 33 because I don't know when I'm going to absolutely lose it in that game at any given time. I just like, oh my goodness. I've cried a lot in that game. Are you not entertained? Yes, Foxy. What about Pikmin? I have it on my Switch. I haven't played it very much yet though. I probably would. Hola, welcome in. Hello, Donnie. All right. Well, I didn't get any other specific questions, so I don't want any excuses of why you guys can't go from this to this. Nobody asked any more questions. So I'm assuming that all of my students can now go from here to here. Very good. You guys improved so quickly today. Aloha, that would be a yes no matter whose name you put there. Well, it's been about 5-10 minutes, Matt, so hopefully you're about a third of the way done detailing your model. Dragon says, how do I pay for ZBrush? Ooh, Maxon loves that question. With blood. No, I'm just kidding. But for real, it's on their website. Duke says, when you play games like Monster Hunter, do you find yourself critiquing the monster models? Oh, not at all. I am a... I like a lot of things. I like a lot. I am not a very critical person. I just like... Oh, I would not kill Ricky for a house in some land. He has to be there. Literally anybody else, though. Yes. Good question, Foxy. You immediately ruined that. And then Cody's here. Hello, hello. I never got mentioned. Yeah, I didn't see you. But hello. I don't think you've been here before. Also, you said I never got mentioned, so I went through and scrolled up. You didn't talk. What are you talking about? Ford says, Mia, would it surprise you? Say I got distracted by something else. Would it be too awful if I detailed your model on stream? Would that be terrible? Would that be like mentally terrible for you? I don't know. I want to show you that you can do it in 30 minutes, but I don't want to like... Matt is Matt's been a student of mine for a while now, and they are more advanced and they make money from it and all the things. So I am a little harsher with Matt than I am my other students. Just says, Mia, how many details do you do after posing? Virtually zero. If I'm gonna detail after I pose, it's usually something that I have to create from scratch. So like a sweeping cape in the wind or something, I will probably wait to create in the first place until the model is posed. Matt says, Mia, no, go for it. Okay, I'm gonna like bring that up while we talk. If you guys don't have any other questions, obviously, I'll get distracted. This is gonna be tricky because I don't have... Okay, we're gonna mirror and weld to just make my life easier. And then I'm gonna split to mass points, maybe. You know, I don't think I even have to do that. I'm gonna detail this as one piece, like a lunatic. Yeah, I'm gonna put 10 minutes on the clock and we're gonna see how detailed I can get this. Cause maybe I won't. Maybe I'm just full of shit. Who knows? Alright, we got a stamp here. I'm gonna do 5 minutes and then I'll check on the chat and then I'll do another 5 minutes. Alright, 5 minutes, let's go. I have to change my brush type here, so it'll actually let me grab pieces. Oh, it's already extruded. Neat. And I'm not going to try to sculpt like a lunatic, because if I just sculpt really frantically and quickly, that's not proving a point. That's just showing that I can be a spaz on stream, you know? I do want to be actually helpful for Matt. I know I do a lot of stuff quickly, but I don't want you guys thinking that if you don't just click a million buttons on your keyboard that you can't model quickly. I used to model way too quickly and I gave myself like tendinitis. So don't do that. It's not about just clicking frantically. It's about just adding stuff really intentionally. Also, this is really fun. I cannot believe, Matt, you're giving me permission to sculpt on your model on stream. I am flattered, honestly. Is there anything covering the back? Kind of. So I won't do too many fabric folds here. Because I think art is a very personal thing, you know? So I don't take it for granted that he's literally letting me do a sculpt over on stream. That's nerve-wracking. I don't think I'd let anyone do that to my work. And I'm going pretty messy here because if I have a fabric fold that I really like, I can go back to it later. It's taking me a little bit longer to do some pieces of this because I don't have them broken down into Subtools quite yet. I just have the one piece that was sent over to me. Which means I'm going to do some cheap stuff on some of it. Again, I'm not going to pay attention to the chat quite right now, but I will very, very shortly. I got a timer for 5 minutes and then I'll check back in with you guys. I'm trusting that my mods are making sure that the place is not burned down. Right? Oh my god. Just Lingle wants to spin the wheel of chaos on Matt's model. That's hysterical. And you know what? Matt is such a good sport, he'd be okay with that. Otherwise, I'd have to be like, guys, we can't do that. Just Lingle, I can't believe that you did that. That is so freaking funny. Okay, we will do that on the 5-minute break. Matt, do you even know what the Wheel of Chaos is? I don't know if you've seen that on the stream yet. Oh, it's so funny. Somebody give Just Lingual point for that, because that is hysterical. Also, I answered a lot of questions. I worked hard today, so I appreciate the tip. I really do. Is my timer working? Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure. I feel like it's been so long. I like this model so much. I'm a huge fan of Matt's work. I was a little intimidated when you signed up for my mentorship program, Matt. I was like, you want me to help you? I'm like, okay, I hope it's worth it. But no, it's been a huge confidence boost for me. And that's why I charge more for the business aspect. Matt, I don't know if you saw that, but I now charge $60 a month for the business portion. Do not sign up for that. Anyone that's already in my mentorship program doesn't need to pay more. You guys are fine. Your grandfathered in or whatever. I got some weird points right here because I had to mirror and weld the model. I don't even know what material some of these things are, so I'm kind of like just detailing everything like it's fabric. But I definitely could have done some leather and stuff. I think I have like 10 seconds left before a minute is up. I got 1 second left. All right, here is 5 minutes of detailing. Very good. Oh, Sharky's here. Hello, nice work on the model. Yeah, it's not mine, it's one of my students. I'm just detailing it. Okay, we have to do a wheel of chaos spin because my peasants cannot. Very not cash money of her. What's happening? Oh, Aloha. At the M3DM factory, Mia hooks up Ricky, that's my husband, up to a machine that forces him. No, the resin in perfect detail. Yes, Ricky is the resin machine, but not literally. We just own one. Aloha, shut up. You're such a bad mod sometimes. You use a standard brush for drapery. Yes, I do. Alrighty. Okay, we are spinning the wheel of chaos to see what happens to Matt's lovely model. The humble potato. Oh my god, it's gonna be turkey leg. Monkey is gonna go absolutely insane. Is Monkey still here? Yes, he is. Monkey, we got turkey leg. We're gonna add a turkey leg to Matt's model. I had fire and water shot redeemed. Thank you so much for letting me know. There we go. Oh, it's in the wrong spot too. You know what? It's just gonna be wrong. And I would love a sip of water. Yeah, I was playing with fire with reading Lowe's comment aloud. They keep saying they redeemed themselves, so I wanted to see if it would work. Alright, we're going to add a turkey leg, and I think I've had to do it so many times now, adding a turkey leg. I think I just have one saved now, which is beyond funny to me. When am I going to save this stupid thing? Oh my god, I'm so annoyed. I've had to sculpt a turkey leg like 10 times now, because I won't save it. Do I really not? Leg. Oh, there's lots of things that are considered leg. Oh, that's so annoying. Do I have it in my items? Look at me in just like full denial. You guys don't understand. I have sculpted a turkey leg like 5 times because of Monkey, and I just keep forgetting to save it. Alright, we're sculpting a turkey leg for like the 10th time. And I'm gonna save it this time. And if I don't, I quit. Alright, we're gonna append a sphere. This is the top of the turkey leg. Oh my gosh. And then we're gonna append a cylinder. So the 2 things I can now sculpt really quickly because of the peasants is a turkey leg and a butt. You guys are children. And then on the bottom of it, we kind of have it where it kind of flares out. And then kind of like the bone or whatever, it kind of has like a funny little shape. All right. Oh, look, a turkey leg. Again, I cannot believe how many times I have sculpted this stupid thing. All right, Matt, your model is now 1,000 times better because it has a turkey leg. And we are now going to get back to our regularly scheduled program. We're going to just pin this onto her hip. There we go. Okay, are you guys ready for another 5 minutes? John says, ha ha ha, she said but. Sometimes, John, you have great questions and comments, and other times you say that. Oh my god. All right, everyone's doing good. So we have 5 minutes of detail on this model. We're gonna do another 5 minutes right now. That'll bring our total up to 10 for those of you that are math savvy. All right, 5 more minutes, let's go. So this tabard here does not have any thickness. We're gonna go dynamic, and we're gonna add some thickness using Subdiv. Went ahead and did that, apply. It looks a little stupid because I had to mirror and weld. So it looked better before, low-key. So I will detail it without. There we go. And yeah, I love using the standard brush for fabric. All right, this is already closed up. Very good. We're gonna extrude a seam all the way around. And then let's add some asymmetrical like bands because she looks kind of Ranger tech-y to me. Very cool. And then for these, I'm probably not gonna add a lot of fabric folds, but instead, I think I'm gonna add a texture. And I imagine that this would be a bit tighter fabric. So I'm doing smaller fabric folds that are closer together. And then for the detail, we're gonna go to the layer brush, change from dots to drag rectangle, and change the alpha to something a bit scratchier. That's a little too intense. Here we go, I think that's fun. Just a little something. Okay, this model actually has a ridiculous amount of subtools. Dear God. I was a little bold when I was like, I can get this done in 10 minutes, or I don't know why I said 10 minutes. Probably to prove a point. Not that I've ever done that before. Alright, I am confused on why that's behaving the way that it's behaving, but I'm not here to fiddle with it. There we go. Yeah, there are a couple pieces here that you could really get lost in the weeds. So Matt, you model stuff so cleanly, and now that I'm actually working on it, I can kind of see why you get hung up on stuff. I also can see that you're a little high poly in the way that you do things. A little bit. Again, it's so clean that you kind of get away with it, but you're pushing it. I still like it because I can work with it very nicely. But I can definitely see where you get stuck. The shoes are pretty much done. Beautiful job on that. I don't really have to touch those. Thank goodness. I don't like doing shoes. I don't even know how I'm going to detail the shoes. I'm just going to ignore them. Just like I do in my models. Can I just extrude a line around here? Ooh, I can. And then we'll just do a center line here. And so now when I subdivide this, we should get a fun little roundedness. Yeah, that looks good. I'm also trying to detail this kind of like how Matt does. Not like a ton, but at least a little bit. I don't want to just, because Matt has a really clean way of creating his models. Adding a little bit more noise than he would. Okay, I mostly got into it. Oh, I didn't do the face though. I assume the face would also be detail. How much time do I have? 1 minute. Turn on lazy radius. Let's get a stronger lip line here. Fade that out. You don't have any eyelashes on our lady here. I'm also gonna adjust her nose a little bit. And then I'm gonna kind of, ooh, I wanna detail her eyebrows. I think I have time. Oh, my heart's beating because I know I have a minute left. When I know my timer's gonna go off, it starts to freak me out. Okay. I'm gonna give her a slight expression here. And then a little more asymmetrical with her hair, which it was asymmetrical. I just mirror and welded the character, so it'd be easier for me to work on it. All right, that is another 5 minutes. So that puts us at 10. Okay, so this is where we were and this is where we are now. So that's 10 minutes. Wait, what? Sater said third of the motion is passed. Mia shall now be responsible for modeling 10 sets of footwear. $100. I'll do it for $100. Who started that? Reaper petition to make Mia model 10 different shoes. Oh, someone linked Titancraft. I love them. I worked for them. They're very nice. John says, Mia, back to a serious question. Once in the second stage of detail, is it best to start merging subtools or does it not matter? If you don't have to merge subtools, don't. Don't do it until the very, very, very last thing that you do. Curse was redeemed. Thank you. Are we really heisting right now? The stream's gonna end soon. I reject your curse. Just kidding. All right, I can do another 5 minutes on this and probably have it fully detailed. So Matt, that's why I told you 30 minutes because I knew I could do it in 15. Also, Matt, do you have any questions? I'm just curious, like genuinely. I was very strict. I actually did 10 minutes by two sets of 5 minutes exactly. I did not cheat. And the turkey leg was not part of that. I am not in the chat at this exact moment because I need to break the heist odds. What even is cursed heist odds? What did I say it was going to be? I think it's like 300% payout, but like a 15% chance to win. Whoever redeemed that just wanted problems. Yes, 25% win rate, 300% payout. My guess is Just Lingual or Foxy redeemed that. All right, updated heist odds are live right now. There you go. We are feeling chaotic. Go into the project ref channel and vote now. What's happening? Should Mia model 10 sets of shoes for a stream? No. Cool. Someone said nah. Sean's, good job. The rest of you, you're dead to me. Ford says, Mia, no questions, but I see the difference in how I should be working quite starkly. Starkly is probably what you meant. Yeah. I feel like I should have done that for you a long time ago. But yeah, that was 15 minutes. And so, Matt, you do have a much more, like, delicious way of fabric folds. Is that a spider? It is a little spider. Oh, where'd it go? Come here. I'm not crushing you. I'm trying to show you to my stream people. It's very small, otherwise I'd be freaking out. Okay, it doesn't want to come on camera, but it was on my pen. It was tiny. Anyway, yeah, Matt, you do better fabric folds. So I like to map them out with standard still, and then if you want to clean them up the way that you do, I have a feeling you use damn standard. And then you can come through, soften up your damn standard brush, and this looks more like your fabric folds. Doing it this way, and then sharpen and smoothing them. I want to make sure that, like, I don't want to compromise your, like, artistic integrity just for speed. So you can come through here, build up that damn standard edge, and you'll get more of the fabric look that you already have. Does that make sense? I did break the bot, sorry. Madame, the peasants have spoken. We demand 1 set of stiletto crocs. No. Is there a yes, but with more emphasis? You guys only want shoes because I hate doing shoes. I'm getting rid of the fire. This is my house. Boo. Alright, this was 2 hours. I'm starting to feel tired. That was a lot of fun. I feel like you guys learned a lot. I hope detailing Matt's model was helpful. I kind of want to detail the hair. I don't know how you normally detail the hair, but I can show. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do the hair really quick, Matt. Or at least how I would do it. Which does not mean it's the right answer. Oh, that's horrifying. Ugh. Anyway, let me make the hair its own tool really quick. All right, my favorite way to detail hair really quickly is using the slash brush, which I'm not sure if you already use or not. Click comma for lightbox brush. Go to slash, and it's the one right here, /2, not 3 or 1, 2. /2. Make sure you have like a ridiculous amount of polys. Like you need a lot of polys. Get those shoes out of my chat right now. All right, and then increase your lazy radius, enable lazy mouse and have the radius around 30. And now, when you click and drag, look at that. Ah, isn't that awesome? Just know it's directional. So when I go top down, it looks like this, and when I go bottom up, it looks like this. It'll put it on the other side. So that means you got the detail, half of the head going like top down and the other side from bottom up. Just keep that in mind. Anyway, and yeah, I really like using this because it adds a lot of volume. It's really powerful, so just keep that in mind because you can really easily goof up your model. And then one thing, again, this would compromise the style of your art, so this next tip I'm giving you is not a tip. It's just something that you could do if you wanted to. A lot of your hairstyles don't have like fine detail strands. They're my favorite. Okay, I really rely heavily on the fine detail strands to get that little extra oomph. So go to curve tube, stroke, curve modifiers, and click on size so it's highlighted. Flip this graph so that way it is linear negative. Make it a little softer. And then I like having picker to 1C. And then yeah, I really like adding a couple strands that kind of like fall around their face. Just a couple. I really feel like it adds so much. Again, this isn't, your models don't generally have that, and it's not a bad thing. So you don't feel like you have to take this advice at all. This is just something that I do because I really like it. Okay, it's looking silly because her hair is kind of so centered, but when you have strands like this, you can really do a lot of fun stuff. You can even take pieces you already have if you want it to be a little bit less work. and then make it smaller. Don't have the rest of it hidden though. Where's all of her hair? Literally all of her hair is not showing now. Okay, what I was gonna show you is you can always grab chunks you already have and then move them around. I'm just mad that it deleted all of her hair. Let's try it again. We'll do it this way. I will have my demo. There we go. So I already have that detailed chunk. Instead of doing it a bunch of times, you don't have to. You can just take this and, okay, I really like those actually. See, Seder knows how to get stuff done. He's like, you have to inspire Mia and then she will do it. It's true. The way her hair slicks back, Matt, reminds me so much of the Sari from Mass Effect. Is that right? The blue people? But yeah, that's how I would detail her hair. Also, you give them eyelashes, right? She looks so like me without makeup in the morning. Like, we need a little drama, a little something. And that especially is subjective. You don't have to do that, obviously. I just like me a little eyelash bar. But yeah, that's how I would do it. We're still doing the stupid shoes in the chat. Amazing. Matt says, I'll definitely adopt some of this. I don't think I'll ever be as fast as you. Brain's just wired differently. I know half the stuff I obsess over isn't even visible. So here's the thing that's interesting about the way you worded that. And this is common. I noticed this. So you obviously know that you're a great artist and you can make a lot of good art, right? You have the same misconception that those that say they just aren't creative have, just expressed in a different way. So when you say stuff like, okay, my brain just wired differently, I can't, it's like, well, then you'll never be able to do it if you think that way. It might surprise you. I used to be like you, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna have to just gaslight myself into thinking I can become whatever I want. Then I'm like, I want to be someone that can create comfortably and effortlessly. And so I'm like, what does that look like? And it was just doing that hundreds of times. I have so many notebooks written down, guys, of what I think that looks like, and then trying stuff out. And I've done that for the last 7 years, very consistently. And I still have roadblocks. Like the Splendor knocked me on my ass, guys. This model was just an absolute meltdown for an hour, literally. And it's like, well, it looked good. I'm like, I know, but the process did not feel good. I was just panicking because it happens still. So what I'm trying to say, Matt, and like, yes, you can. But if you don't think you can, then you never will. Does that make sense? I know it's, ew, I hate that monkey. Sorry, just gross shoes. Anyway, I'm trying to be inspirational here. I know it's very tacky to be like, oh, just believe it and it will happen. That's not always true. You can't just believe your way into being something. But if you don't believe you can do it, then you never will for sure. That's the punchline. And you don't have to do it in 10 minutes. That's insane. That was just proving a point. And then John said, with a duplicated chunk of hair, do you have to close holes on it? Yes. Very good. And they do get lashes. That's what I thought. And first says, exactly, Mia, that's what I mean by that phrase in my review. Absolutely. I loved your write-up, Empress, so much in your reflection. It gave me chills. Yes, I did it, but it didn't feel good. Yep, exactly. That's part of it sometimes. Every time I see Seder the Ancient is typing, I giggle. Like, every time. I enjoy that. That has not gotten old. The turkey leg shoes will haunt my dreams. Welcome to the tavern. Good luck with the shoes, Mia. Oh, I'm not doing them. Nope. Thanks, though. Take care, Max. Thanks for tuning in. All right. I'm getting tired. This was fun. I had a good time. Did the detail. Did the things. This was a really, really fun stream. I feel like it was a lot of fun because we don't do stuff like this super often. that is dedicated to just, you know, showing models and techniques. But I wouldn't be against this being, I don't know, the go-to. This is really fun. Shorter stream, but really dense on information. All right, with all that being said, if you are on the fence about learning how to sculpt, don't be. I would love to teach you. I have a link in the chat to a mentorship program. Again, it's $1 a day. You're not going to find a better deal. And if you're here watching this stream, you have the chance to get like the best value out of it, because the mentorship combo with watching my streams and asking questions live, it's where it's at. Alrighty, y'all. No, Loa. See, I knew not to read that. Emperor says, I asked earlier, and someone did answer, but I wanted to hear from you. If I wanted to study a style like Genshin Impact, where would I start looking? Oh, how do I make money with art? No, Reaper. I have a Pinterest board that I have shared before. I think I've shared it with you before, so I'm sorry if I'm being redundant. I don't know why I apologize. It's still good information. Essentially, this problem of translating anime and like that stylized eyeball and look to 3D has been done before. Thank God, because it's a hard problem to solve. And you don't have to solve stuff on your own. I'm gonna put that in the chat right here. There we go. This one's interesting because it shows that a lot of times this can be achieved with like shaders, but this was done in a way I haven't seen before. It's not so much that illusion effect, they actually did create the 3D-ness to it. I really loved that. Here is another one that is sculpted. Notice though that a lot of these look crazy until the final stages. So like if I was working on this, you guys would make fun of it. You know, lovingly, but you would. But by the end, it looks absolutely stunning. So the hair, the way that's rendered, obviously, you're not really gonna get that until like proper lighting and stuff. This is what you're gonna end up with. But it's definitely something that you can do. Here's a really good interpretation of it that I love. Again, this is actually carved out. This is gorgeous. But this is where I would start, is looking at this Pinterest board I've put together. As you can tell, there's not a whole lot in it because each one of them is very specific. For some reason, I have this How to Sculpt Wednesday in a minute on here. I have it there for a reason, I'm sure. And then this one's critical. If you don't understand these planes before trying to translate anime into 3D, you're gonna have a bad time. Figure this out first, because it's similar to a normal face, but quite different. Good question. I hope I didn't traumatize Matt. I know I didn't. You're tough. But like that was fun for me. I hope that was helpful for you. Oh, there you go. Matt says, thanks for the demo. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you. I don't know. Sometimes I don't think I could take what I dish out sometimes. So I appreciate you guys for being cool. I am a sensitive potato sometimes. Emperor says, no, I love redundant. Always miss something. Okay, good. Very good. This is my public apology for the turkey leg shoe. It's not accepted, monkey. The fact that it's still on screen. Oh, cracks me up. Cracks me up. Also, Matt, I should have done that sculpt over like months ago. I feel like that was you mentioned it was very helpful to see it, and I was like, I keep telling you this stuff can happen within an hour or 30 minutes, but I didn't actually do it. So I did it finally to show you. I need to do more of that with my students. Nothing beats showing you how to do the thing literally in real time. You guys can't tell, but I always have my hands kind of like held like this. Damn it, Satyr. Okay. Fantastic stream. I really enjoyed this. We had a ton of people tune in today, which is a lot of fun. Some new people as well. Shout out to whoever asked, is this Blender, when ZBrush is the first word in the title. And that's it. I will see you guys on Monday. Have a fantastic weekend. Take care. To all of my students, if you need something or I hurt your feelings, send me a DM. We'll talk about it. And until then, have a fantastic weekend. Oh, an extra shout out for Just Lingual. Wheel of Chaos was fun. I appreciate the monies and donations are great. Okay. Like the stream on your way out. I'll see you Monday. Bye.